to the You Don't Know Me Yet podcast network.
Hey, you are tuned in to Two Gems and a Mic with hosts Tanisha the Diva Mahomes and Linda L.D. Dorsey. Just know, if we talking about it, you need to hear about it. Unwind and enjoy. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Gems and a Mic. I'm your girl, LD. I got my girl, Tanisha, the Diva Mahomes, and our boy, Darren Smith. What's going on?
Hey.
Good people. Happy holidays.
Hey, how you doing?
Same, right back at you. All right, we got a lot to unpack, so we ain't even gonna BS, right? Let's start
Let's
off.
skip the BS.
It would say,
So let's
Just
skip
skip
the
it.
BS.
skip the BS. All right, last night was the rematch, right?
Right.
That's what they were of the
Yeah,
Super
right.
Bowl.
It was.
I'm gonna start off with some questions, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
jump in. But everybody wants to. I ain't saying y'all, but we got in some spaces last night looking at it. They want to blame everything on MVS. He lost the game. What's your take on that? We're gonna get a little deeper, but what's your take on MVS losing the game?
Well, I don't know if you're starting with me or not, but let's just say if the Chiefs offense were doing what they were supposed to be doing, he wouldn't have been in that situation for people to try to put the blame all on him. Let's start there. Because the Chiefs had many opportunities in the first half to expand I think they were tied, but they had a chance to expand on their lead. Um, well, I guess they had a 10-point lead because they didn't score in the second half. So
Right.
uh, when they got down to the red zone and Patrick Mahomes threw the interception, I guess it was targeted for Justin Watson again. While he was targeted 11 times, that's the story. That's
We're gonna
another
get to that.
conversation. Yeah.
We're gonna get to that.
So that's the first of all, that's the first thing. Now, if Patrick doesn't throw a lazy pass that ended up getting intercepted, you go up 24-7. Now, how the game gets played after that or whatever, we don't know. So that's the first drive that should have resulted in some points and didn't. So again, if they do what they're supposed to do, and then of course coming out in the second half, the defense forced the Eagles on 2 3-and-outs. Offense had moving the ball down, but somehow offense got stalled, drop passes, things like that. Then I think in the late third quarter, fourth quarter, he had a chance to score again. He got to the red zone, and Travis Kelce fumbles the football. So again,
You're
MVS.
answering the question. It ain't on MVS. It was a.
It was a movie. It's a series of multitude of events that took place that did not, had other things happen. You're not in the situation at the end
You're
of the
not
ball.
looking at MVS at that. That's just like what do they call it? Icing on the cake. If he catches that one beautiful catch, everybody like, oh damn, if he dropped it, whatever. Tanisha, your thoughts on that? Do you think
I mean, it wasn't just MVS's fault. It was a collective offensive debacle. I mean, everybody had their hand in it. And like you said, Pat throwing red zone interceptions. Kelsey fumbling on like the 5 of the 7 or 8, wherever he was at. I mean, hell, Justin,
Kansas City's not running the football any
you know,
longer.
yeah, Justin Justin just letting balls just go through his hand left and right. I mean, literally just getting balls bounced off his forehead. I mean,
Pause.
literally.
let me yeah. Yeah.
I
That
mean,
sounded a little crazy, but
I
wait,
mean, what?
That was a big
so
pause. Just saying.
let me ask you a question there. So you let's go back to Watson. Why was he? He was the most targeted player last night.
It's a tack of lunacy running around in the locker room. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I do not understand the play calling. I mean, I don't. I mean, there's a lot of things that doesn't make sense. I mean, the punt didn't make a lot of sense to me. Or just I won't say it didn't make sense. It just it didn't. It's just something that I think that I think that I kind of get what he was doing. The defense was playing well, so you know what I mean. That I guess that's his mindset behind it. But I wouldn't have done it. I think
Okay.
a lot of people wouldn't have done it. But I mean, I'm taking it. That's what he was thinking. My defense is playing well, so why not? But I mean, it's so much more than that. I mean, that team makes mistakes and they just go over there like, I mean, nobody's uplifting people. I mean, they just look like they're all just individuals on a team. They
And
look
that's what
bad.
and that you're leading to something. So we see it from TV and we see it from what they show us, right? Whatever replays they want to show us what's going on. Darren, what are you seeing? Because I'm like I used to, and I asked you that question. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm asking you a question because we used to see it where, they were pumped up. Something went wrong. Everybody was amping each other up on the side. Don't worry about that play. We're gonna get the next one. Is that happening and we're not seeing it?
No, there's
It doesn't appear that
there's
it is.
there's different personalities now versus what there was, over the last couple of seasons. And literally, I was watching Undisputed this morning, and Keyshawn Johnson basically hit the nail on the head, or hit the head on the nail, which is what I've been saying for the last few months, of the presence of one Eric Bieniemy. Now, for people who says he didn't call plays injury, look, I'm not gonna go into argument about that. But what I tell people is that his presence, you don't understand his presence. Whether or not he was the last voice that was in Patrick's helmet or whatever, them come to the sidelines. There's a different personality and presence from Eric Bieniemy, Compton, California running back, national champion running back for Colorado, someone who played 10 years in the NFL, hard nosed, played at the highest level, and Matt Nagy, who's calling plays as a former quarterback and quarterback coach and stuff like that. There's just a difference in personality and how your message is getting across. When you have, and I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm taking a lot of time, but when
Yeah.
you had a Tyreek Hill and McCole and the other receivers who were here last year and the years before, say what they say about Bieniemy. He is someone, as Patrick said, and I actually pinned it to my Twitter thing where he talked about Eric Bieniemy holding players accountable, holding him accountable, whether it's Patrick Mahomes on interception, untimely interceptions, players dropping passes, the amount of penalties they would get. That was something that if he's there, he's jumping on them, he's getting on their head, he's getting on their case. But at the same time, he's teaching and he's encouraging them at the same time. And so when they go back out there, they feel like, okay, this guy. And the thing is, he didn't do anything in practice that he didn't do in the games. And so you don't see that. So when I listen to what Tanisha was saying and what you were saying, of course, it just gets me thinking about, for me, it's the opposite answer of Bieniemy not being there, but it is so much bigger than that because of the little things that he did. One, he was responsible for the clock management. Honestly, when he was the OC for the Chiefs, whether you call it name only or not, you never had that situation in the ball game where you were worried about the time management and stuff like that. And then he would always, at the end of the day, if he needed to go back to the run, because instinctually that's just what he is as a running back, he would have no problem if Pacheco's running the ball. Well, they had 128 yards at the half
Hmm.
running the football, dominating the Eagles. They only had 40 yards in the second half. Again, he is someone that understands situational football. And for some reason, it seems that you're not getting that with Matt Nagy. I will just say this: Matt Nagy is a good man. I did not agree with the Chiefs. I did not agree with the Chiefs bringing him back because it kind of felt like you were trying to push Eric Bieniemy out of the OC role by bringing him back when he got fired from Chicago, and Eric ended up moving and going to Washington now. Nagy is the offensive
Let
coordinator.
me
I'm
just
just not seeing. I'm just not seeing the same accountability being held by Matt Nagy that we saw with
And
Eric Bieniemy.
yeah, go ahead, Tanisha. I think that's
listen.
part of it, but go ahead.
I mean, flat out is part of it. I mean, but let's be honest. I mean, these guys, they don't look like they fear losing anything. I mean, they are dropping balls and way too comfortable.
Yep.
I mean, this is a team that standard that is way up here. You
Well,
way
supposed to
too
be.
comfortable. It's
Yeah.
it is the standard. When you just win a Super Bowl, the standard is to get back there.
That should be the standard.
That is to get back there. That's period. And then for you to be first in your division right now, you're first in division, and you're coming off getting your ass mugged by a division opponent that you had been dominating. And let's face it, they got beat up in Denver. I mean, they got destroyed.
They got
it wasn't
dog-walked.
exactly. And then for you to come out there and you got the team that you beat in the Super Bowl, and y'all were convincingly. I mean, to me, they I don't want to say dominating them, but they
were
did
dominating.
everything they could to give them that game. Yeah. They did everything they could to give them that game. That is a lack of discipline. And to me, I don't want to say they didn't want it, but I mean, what was that?
Well,
just kind of like
Tanisha, going back to what you're saying, they want to, but the problem is, like you said, that should, as I said, it should be the standard. And if the standard's not being met, who is holding them accountable? Is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not Andy. It's not Matt. It's not.
I'm expecting those those captains to be over there in them dudes' ears saying, "Come on, let's go."
But the problem, Tanisha, but the problem is that.
I'm not seeing that. I'm not.
If the veterans are the problem, then that's a problem. Now,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, the captains, Patrick and them can't be jumping on players when they're fouling up as well.
Well, here's the other thing too. So I don't know what went on, and I know it's been trending a little bit today. So we watched it last night. At one point, remember, Andy Reid was yelling, "Stop it, stop it, stop it," because they were coming over to the sidelines complaining. So I don't know what you really don't know everything that's going on.
What they complaining about, I guess, is my question. Would be my question.
Yeah, that we don't know that. So I'm not going to make.
They were coming off the field. No, absolutely. The back was turned, and Andy Reid was greedy, like literally saying, basically, "Stop it," as they were coming off the field. What they were complaining about, who knows? But I can tell you one thing. It looks like a cluster F over there on that sideline. Like everything looks in disarray. I don't know why. But it does not look like. Go back and look at the previous seasons where they come off the field. Everything is organized. It just looks like everything is running like a jiffy lube. It looks like a team, like a well-oiled machine. Look at it now,
Tanisha. But what you're saying is there is one person that's missing on that sideline from the previous years that's not there now, and that's a big difference.
But we're in agreement on that. We're in agreement. We are in agreement on that. Okay. I don't know if it's a fear factor. I mean, you go over there and what we do know is he's hard. He was hard on those guys, and he played hard. And that respect factor was there. Like we've heard players say that he was a hard guy. He was hard nosed. Sometimes you need that as an athlete. I think everybody that's played sports, some coaches are hard. They expect more than others. And as athletes growing up in the system, you know that you're going to have a coach just put that foot on you sometime.
Well, yeah.
And that's just kind of how it is. And they just make, it's some of them you can't play games with.
If you look at, you want to talk about him, right? We're going to come back to the Chiefs, and then we're going to, progress.
But I'm saying, what I'm saying is that, if I were a betting woman, there's not one of them over there that's like that anymore.
No, I don't think so either.
If I was a betting woman, everybody in that camp is tiptoeing around Pat Kelsey and help me out, 95. I don't know why I don't went Drew Blank. And Jones. I bet they tiptoeing. I think
part of it, you can see the discipline. If you look at the, I got to watch a whole game because I normally don't watch their games, but my Giants were playing them last week. The Commanders, right? Win, lose, or draw. There's a different type of discipline on that team too. when those players come off, they're discussing things. They're going through what happened, what was this. They're sitting with the coaches. You see individual players going on and stuff like that. That's part of the problem. Let's talk about what's happening on the field, right? So I listen to a couple of shows, people, and my own thoughts, of course. I keep saying to myself, if you don't put the same people out, like I coach basketball, if I put a different starting five out there every game, if I'm mixing it up, you're not going to
No
get any
cohesiveness.
consistency. You're not going to get any kind of consistency. They're not going to click. Those five that I'm switching up because I got put two in, I put three in. It's different. They're not going to click. That's why you have a starting five. That's why a lot of teams have rotations. We know who's that sixth man or who's that sixth person. Who's that person? You have a rotation because everybody knows what that is. They get used to it. I don't think they have any kind of rotation. I'm looking at who's on. At some point during the season, I was like, who is that? Who is that? So, what I don't understand from a coaching perspective, why aren't they trying to establish that to say here? I don't care who it is. I'm not naming who it should be. Why don't you have a 1, 2, and a 3? Those are your receivers. 4, 5, 6. Those other ones are spelling, but that 1, 2, and 3 are the ones who are more consistently on the field. Isn't that how the Chiefs used to play?
The problem is that when they did the 1, 2, and 3, we saw the 1, 2, and 3 played in the season
Who
opener.
was the 1, 2, and 3, Darren?
MVS, Sky Moore, and Kadarius Toney.
Okay.
And we saw how that played out in the season opening.
Okay,
loss.
but we going in. We just finished what?
We know that Tony shouldn't have been on the field.
Again, you asked the question. I'm just answering it. So
Well,
I mean,
fair
that's
enough.
so
Fair enough.
and I mean, I can't really. I wouldn't push back on it. I mean, but that's because again, I'm like you all when when Pat is throwing to 10 different receivers every week. You don't have a chance to have a number one or receiver outside. Yeah, I mean, outside of receiver, outside of Travis Kelce. I mean, look, Steve and I talked about most of the evening prior to the game actually taking place that you cannot have an $11 million receiver not getting targets. Not. I mean, one.
How many did he have last night?
He had 3 targets for 0 catches.
0 catches. And Watson got more, but he had. I mean, he did get a touchdown, but he dropped 6. But I don't know if he dropped 6. He was targeted. He was targeted.
That's horrible. That is absolutely atrocious.
I'm not gonna say he dropped 6 because I know he was overthrown on one, and there was a couple other things. So not all drops, but I mean, I saw one. His hands was like this, and went straight through his hands. But I'm with you too. I know everybody is, and I'm kind of biased because I'm an MVS fan, right? So if you throw to this dude and he's not like he's not getting in a rhythm, or somebody's not getting in nobody's in a rhythm. Like the only person that got in a rhythm and then they took him out of it was Pacheco with the running.
It's hard for me because
hell, even Clyde Edwards-Helaire was running good last night.
Especially on the outside, that caught everybody in the stadium off guard. Look, it's hard for me because me covering the team and then talking to the players in the locker room that you root for them and you like them generally as as a person outside of what they're doing.
Damn that. No, I don't care about that.
Well,
I don't care about liking them.
Okay,
I want somebody that can catch the ball.
Okay, Tanisha, can I please?
Go ahead.
Can I please? Thank you, Tanisha. I get it, but you don't have the same responsibilities that I do, and so what I'm saying is because I cover them, look, I'm tough on them when it comes to questioning and my criticism, but but I can't make it personal, as fans and other people like to do, because I still have a job to do where I still have to go in there and try to get content from the players, and if I'm here, if I'm saying that MVS play like horse manure, week in and week out. I'm just pointing out the fact that he had 3 catches. I mean, he had 3 targets, 0 yards, and you're paying this man a lot of money to be, saying for, saying I guess to work on his cardio or something instead of actually using him to catch, throw passes to him to catch, to catch passes and extend plays and try to help you win the ball game. That's my point. And what I'm saying is that when they have bad games like that, I have to keep in mind that yes, saying I know they play. I got my own eyes. I know they played horrible. How, when I'm in the locker room, if I get a chance to talk to them, how do I phrase questions without, saying without it sounding personal? Because yes, I would like for them to win. I mean, because their success is translate over to me and everyone else in that field. But knowing, but again, I can't, I can't like say what you want to say, Tanisha, because I still got to deal with them when I leave and come back the next day. You don't have to
I said, okay. I said for you. This is my point. I said I'd rather see MVS drop him than Watson drop him. If you're paying him $11 million, I want to see him drop him.
I prefer.
I want to see him drop him.
Right, we prefer nobody to drop, but Tanisha, to your point,
hell, yes, I want to see them targets going to him.
MBS getting those targets.
No arguments there.
Than I want to see. And here's the thing, Darren. We always said, like I saw one play where I know Pat was looking, and I saw Rice ran around, sat down. He was sitting there waiting on the ball. They never looked at him, went somewhere else, and they get the first down. But I'm with Tanisha. I don't know if MVS just ain't getting open, if it's the plays not getting called or whatever.
I'm gonna tell you something. Look, there were plays last night where I'm literally watching Patrick and I'm watching the field, and it was a 3rd and 2. I believe it was 3rd and 2. I want to say it was 4th and 2, but because of but I believe it was 3rd and 2. Pacheco came out the backfield and was already past. He went 3 yards, to get past the first down marker. Wide open to Mahomes' left. Mahomes never looked at him. Never looked that way. Mahomes was just looking down the field to the right side of the field. Never, because had he looked over and saw Pacheco, he could have easily threw the ball to him. They have a first down. Drive continues to go. There's a lot of times in the ball game where Mahomes is just zoning in on one player and he's determined to make that throw, or as we talked about before coming on the air, is that sometimes he will just hike the ball and run without letting the play develop. Now, people, we talked about whether or not
he has the confidence
in his line or whatever. But like when I was in Germany, I literally saw where he hiked, he called for the ball hiked, and he just took off running. Like, well, damn, Patrick, let the play develop before you just escape the pocket. Because last night there was a lot of times where he just stayed in the pocket and was going to take a sack left or right. Like, bro, so the times when you should be running, you're not running, and when you're not running, saying you get sacked and you cost the team yards.
What's your thought?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I see is or what I think has happened is, and I said that from the beginning. You can't play musical chairs with the man line, and what I think he is pretty damn skittish now. I mean, I don't think he has any confidence.
His offensive line has been the same since the first game. So when you say musical chairs with his line, now I get the fact that Orlando Brown and Wiley or somewhere else now, but what I'm saying is that Donovan Smith and Jawan Taylor, they've been there since the first day of practice, and so now
I think a left tackle is a pretty damn important position.
Oh, I agree. Now,
I mean, they've got to clean up a few things too, and that we've got to get better. You can't keep saying that. It's week 12, right? So yeah, you can always get better, but you can't stay in the same spot. And then turnovers. I mean, they got some bad calls. There was some bad calls both ways. We know that's going to happen in the game.
But I can definitely see that he looks skittish in there. I mean, the circling, he looks like he's going back to old ways. And to me, that's a lack of confidence. Something ain't right in there.
I think,
period. He didn't just all of a sudden decide he want to run around in circles.
Well, I think how you practice translates over into how you play. And another thing, we know Bieniemy's not there, so let's take him out of the equation. Who has the accountability? Because to me, Spags, I love Spags.
That could be something.
Who has the accountability for that offense? You got wide receivers coach, right? You got an offensive coordinator. You got a quarterback coach. You got a head coach.
Did you see the wide receivers press conference the other day?
I did not.
Yeah. Oh, well, go watch that, and then we'll just skip about the accountability for the wide receivers and mention the wide receiver coach.
I mean,
You
give
go
us
see
a
that.
Oh,
face. Give us
I
a
know
face
what
of
you're
what it
talking
was. I
about.
didn't see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we
I
talk
saw.
about it? I mean, we here.
No,
Let's
no,
talk.
no. Tanisha, go.
No. I saw that. I saw that he was. They were. It was a lot going on about him going up there and needing practice because he looked shook.
Yeah,
When they were
he's
answering questions and stuff, and everybody was saying he looks ill prepared for that
Who? Who we talking
job.
about?
the wide receiver
The wide
coach.
Oh,
receiver
okay,
coach.
okay.
Yeah,
The wide
I'm
receiver
And
coach.
just
maybe he
so
is. Maybe
He
they
did
don't
a
realize
very
that. I mean, you don't like to get rid of teams do it, but you don't like to get rid of people, midway through the season or whatever.
Oh
But
well,
there's
well, well,
two
well,
things.
well I mean, nobody's saying fire him, but I know you asked a question about who would be the one to hold the players accountable. Again, that's something I think that I talked about earlier with the enemy. It's like who is that coach now? Again,
But that's yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
and so I
Danny
don't
ain't
know
there. So
if it's
somebody from
Nagy, I don't know if it's Andy because it doesn't seem like
was it from the team? I mean, I used to see that on the sideline, and I still see it on other sideline. Even if y'all are arguing, eventually y'all get it together. They not even communicating. I'm like, damn, at least show some emotion. It's like the players over, everybody walk to the okay, fourth
no.
down.
I
We didn't get it.
mean,
I don't understand that.
I still say I still say a lot of this is on Veach. I say it. It's on him. He had
well, Veach ain't
opportunity.
on the field. I mean, the whole player's accountable. I mean,
He ain't on the field, but he damn sure could have went and got some help.
well, yeah,
I think Stevie Wonder could have saw that this was a problem.
okay, but
And I
okay,
think they
but
wanted
now we're
and
having
people and
two different conversations because I'm just
well,
trying to
hell, we
just
having the one I want to have on my podcast.
okay,
Hell, this the one I
okay, well
want to have
that's
right here,
fine, but
which
no,
is the
that's
fact that them
fine.
damn
No,
receivers
no,
was
no.
looking weak from day
I get
one, and there
I
was
get
not
that.
one damn fan that didn't
I'm
know
with
it.
you. I wanted
And now
DeAndre Hopkins.
them
I
same
wanted some of these other
receivers is out
receivers.
there dropping balls left and right, and Pat is out there looking a little crazy himself. You got Kelsey out there, and the frustration is showing. I got tired of seeing this. I think I wasn't the only one. Kelsey was out there looking crazy. Andy out there making calls that people don't normally see him making. That frustration is showing everywhere. And don't tell me that it couldn't. A lot of these burdens could have been lifted if the GM would have just been like out of his own head and let his ego go a little bit and went out there and got some help. He had ample opportunity to do that, but for some reason he thought he saw something that everybody else didn't see. I mean, and he put this, he put this in, and I'm gonna tell you something. They might make it to the Super Bowl. They might, or they might be one and done.
Okay.
Because they can't score in the second half.
Well,
Pitiful.
that's 2 weeks in a row.
That's
That's
3
not
weeks in a
happening.
row. That's 3 weeks in a
3
row.
Three
weeks.
games in a row.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm sorry. Yep, I was thinking of the last game, but Denver, right? Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that you can't get any points in the second half. So yeah, they got to do something, and getting up to the podium saying we got to do better. Hell, everybody know you got to do better. Of course, if you losing, you got to do better. Or if
Well,
you
the thing,
barely
look,
winning, you got to do better. So that statement is not the one. Somebody need to get in the facility early. Somebody need to stay late. I don't know what's going on, but they got to come together as a team. I'm gonna
And
give
like I
y'all.
said,
I'm gonna give y'all both
and
30 seconds, and we're gonna wrap this with the Chiefs, and we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna move on. Go ahead, Tanisha.
yeah, and like I said, I think he the best quarterback in the league. But yeah, stop putting him in a position and expecting him to create miracles. That's
Okay.
what you have done this season, and you're gonna see that he is a human. So he gonna
well,
need some help. He
I
gonna
will
need some
say
help.
this. I will say that I think it's been proven he's human because
You
before this
damn right.
season, but before this season, when it came down to 2 minutes, even 13 seconds, you didn't mind the ball being in his hands. Saying to go down and try to win you the game now. And I said this a couple of times yesterday. Hell, I don't. I'm afraid for Pat to throw the football because I'm afraid for the receivers to try to catch it. You know what I'm saying when it comes
Damn,
time to
that's
win.
bad.
And lo and behold, my biggest fears were played out in the last 2 minutes of the ball game. Patrick trying to get the ball down the field, and look, the craziest part was throwing the ball, towards the sideline where they could get out of bounds was working, and then he goes across. He did have Kelsey down the field, and then they had the 15-yard penalty. But it's like, okay, go back to the sidelines. Kind of stop to get the quick outs to the sidelines, and it just wasn't working. I think now I will say I do know that Brett Veach did try to get a couple of receivers during the summer, but once Odell Beckham signed an $18 million deal with the Baltimore Ravens, that just kind of blew the market out for a veteran receiver, because I know that they were trying to get DeAndre Hopkins from the Arizona Cardinals, but when Odell got that money, it pushed what he was trying to get. What the Chiefs were trying to pay him up out of the way, because I know they also made an offer for Odell Beckham as well. But to go from $4 million to $18 million, obviously Odell wasn't going to be a fool and took the money. So I don't blame him
Okay.
for that. So
All right, Tanisha, you got anything to rebut that, or we gonna take a break and we gonna come back and talk about the rest of the NFL? You got something
Take
else?
a break. We could take a break. We beating a dead horse.
All
Come
right.
on, little
we
Pat.
we going to overtime talking to beat the dead
Right.
Come
horse
on.
some
No,
more if we
I'm
need
just
to.
saying. Come on, little Pat. I believe in you. Gonna figure it out. Let's get it working. Let's
All
go.
right, we'll
Believe
be
in
right
you
back
too,
after
man.
this break. All right, welcome back, folks. We're gonna move on because there were some other games in the NFL.
It
I'm gonna
sure
start off with
was.
that Thursday night game. It was of course we know what happened with Joe Burrow, so it wasn't what we expected it to be. I hate to see, I'm a Joe Burrow fan, right? So I
I
hate to see
know.
anybody
So am I.
get hurt. But given that, I do, and my understanding here is that Joe Burrow was lost to the Bengals. Mark Andrews was lost to
The
the Ravens.
Ravens.
So the
Yes.
Ravens may not see him for the rest of the season, which is a big
Man.
blow. Which is a big blow. So
Well, the Ravens also said that he might have a chance to come back. So,
today, John Harbaugh,
I'm sorry, Mark Andrews said that. So
yeah,
take that for what it's worth.
yeah,
Well,
and the coach is saying
Aaron
doubtful.
Rodgers think he coming back too.
Right. But let's start with the Bengals. They got a
Well,
chance.
Nope,
no.
they done.
No,
Oh,
they do not,
yeah,
because
y'all
there
be
is
trying
no
to.
replace.
Did you,
There is no replacing Joe Burrows. I don't care who you say. There's
And
no
honestly, I'm
replacing
not
Joe
sad about
Burrows.
it. So
I
well, I
mean,
know you ain't sad about it.
I'm not.
That's a different. That's a whole different question.
I mean, Joe Burrows
I mean,
is
I'm
not somebody that can be replaced. This
right.
dude he is the real deal. You gonna get him man his props. I hate to see him go down like that. I mean, that is just, to me, that's a season ender for them. I mean, they're gonna have somebody go out there and try to play. But there is no replacing that dude. That dude is a stud, and I hate to see an athlete like that go down. I hope he gets better. Looking forward to seeing him next year. But no, their season is cooked. They're not gonna be with us.
Right.
So that's the end of
Okay.
that.
Um, Darren, I know you need to take a quick break. What do you think about the Ravens, though? Give me that.
the Ravens, look, they have, I think, the hardest schedule to finish off the season. So the Chiefs still have an outside shot. If the Chiefs take care of business on their end, I think that they'll reclaim the number one seed. Because if just looking at Baltimore schedule, now I need to pull it up. I got my thing full screen, but if we pull up their schedule, I mean, I think the Baltimore Ravens. Does anybody have their schedule in front of them?
I do have their schedule. So right now we got the Ravens. The Ravens has the Chargers, the Rams, the Jaguars, the 49ers, the Dolphins, and the Steelers. That's not an easy schedule.
Yeah, no, not at all. And so when I look at that to me is like a murder's row. And so I could easily see a scenario. Look, when you're talking about you're going to be playing the 49ers. If the 49ers are at full strength, if they stay at full strength like they are, yeah, I count that as a loss. And I'm just being kind about it. And so yeah, I'm not confident that they'll be able to. And one, losing Mark Andrews is big, for the Ravens.
Oh, I
And
agree.
Odell Beckham, at the end of the day, he can't stay healthy, and so
He's scary. It is scary with him.
He's looking good though the last few games though.
He looks good, but I mean, he looked good when he got to the Rams, and then what?
Well, I'm just saying he's looking good right now. Now, whether he ends up, staying healthy, like Darren has a valid point. Like I said, the best ability is availability, and whether he can finish out this season is going to be key. But
Yep.
Mark Andrews is a major loss to that squad because that is his safety blanket,
It
just
is.
like Kelsey is for Pat. So
I
that's
mean, and
gonna
when
hurt.
and seriously, when you look at the schedule, they play the Chargers on Sunday. Look, the Chargers have been disappointing this entire season, and of course, Brandon Staley, he knows his job is on the line. They play Sunday Night
Yeah.
Football. Justin Herbert is I mean, he's going to do what he can to put the numbers up to try to get his team to win. For them to have an outside shot, like they could still make it. They could still make it if it's if it's like 11-6 scores. That means they'd have to beat the Chiefs in the last game. I don't see that happening. But so maybe a 10-7 win could get them to it. So for the Chargers need to win this game, and obviously the Ravens. This will be probably the first game in Lamar Jackson's career that he'll be playing without Mark Andrews. And so this is going to be a test for them.
I agree. Normally we don't do this, but I'm gonna take a quick 2-minute break, and we'll be right back. Hey, Tanisha, it's me and you for right now. Darren will be back with us in a minute, so we can move on. We'll catch him up. Let's talk about the Steelers and the Browns.
Well, I love the Steelers defense. And I love the Browns defense even more. Lord, I love me some Myles Garrett. If that is not a defensive god, if I've ever seen one, that Browns defense is problems for any team that gets in front of them. And I like what I saw. Well, first, let me back up. Let's talk about that quarterback and his and what a wonderful story that is that he had the quarterback DTR. And he just had the treatment and then was able to come out and start that game and get that win. Always wanna be be positive. Guy had what was it
Leukemia, I believe he with the
leukemia.
leukemia treatment, and he's back. But yeah, and God bless him. But I do want to go. Cleveland is. I'm not counting Cleveland out yet to maybe mess up somebody's playoff run.
No, the Cleveland's gonna make the playoffs. I had the Chiefs. I
What
had
you
the Chiefs
mean?
and the Browns. I had the Chiefs and the Browns in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
Without Watson.
Well, obviously I had them there with Watson, but the way that defense is playing, I mean, look, we've seen the Ravens, we've seen the Bucks win Super Bowls
that
with
defense gonna mess a lot of people up. That defense is absolutely
they have the number one
They
ranked
enjoy
defense
what they
for a
do.
reason. They got the number one ranked defense for a
What'd you
reason.
say? They enjoy what they do. They're monstrous. Do you hear me? They out there. It's
And
just
man,
Miles love it. He loves what he does.
I told people in the offseason when they acquired Jim Schwartz to be their DC, and then they picked up Zadarius Smith from Minnesota and Juan Thornhill signed there, I knew then that they were going to be trouble. And the thing is, all the players didn't play in that final preseason game at Arrowhead, but but me watching because I kind of had a feeling that if Deshaun Watson was going to be back to form, I thought that all the additions on the defense side of football they'd be pretty good. But what I saw in the last preseason game, Jim Schwartz wasn't playing, and look, and that it was its final exhibition game, regular final preseason game, but they still went out there and bought. I think they had 2 pick sixes. Juan Thornhill had a pick six, and I mean, look, they to me they were showing like, yeah, this is what you got to deal with all season. Then what they did in the opening game against Cincinnati, I said, this team's legit. So yeah, so the way that they did Pittsburgh last week with the rookie quarterback one, that win for them meant a lot, for him, because it proved to him that I can do it. If I just don't mess up, I got the defense, I got the players, I got the coaches behind me that can
Mhm.
make things happen. So I really do like Cleveland, and plus their schedule is on the easier side, more or
Yeah,
less. Outside of maybe I think they play Jacksonville. And I know they play Houston.
yeah.
So but
Let-
again, but
Well,
that
Houston,
defense
I mean,
travels.
I ain't sleeping on them. So now that you brought them up, let's go to the AFC South, right? So you got Jacksonville, Houston, Indy, Tennessee. Houston, you
But
gotta say you're impressed. If you're not impressed, then you don't like football.
Houston is the team that I have as my quote unquote scary team because, as I mentioned to a gentleman from the USA Today, they're too young to know what they don't know. And the way CJ Stroud is throwing the football, he is the only quarterback right now that I would be worried about on the other side of the field from Patrick Mahomes, because he is doing what Mahomes was able to do last year and early in his career, is throw receivers open. And not only that, he's doing what you all told me Mahomes was doing at Texas Tech, taking some players that you ain't heard now. Obviously, you got Nico Collins, you got Robert Woods, who was coming back from the dead in Houston from last year to
Hmm.
this year, and then of course you have
Well, what about the
uh,
coach?
that wasn't
Hank.
his fault. It
Well,
was a
I
quarterback.
hadn't gotten there yet, Linda. But yeah, but what I'm saying is the way CJ Stroud is playing, he can put up points and he can throw the football all over the field and can mess things up. And yes, D'Amico Ryans, and you got Will Anderson on defense. That's the core nucleus right there that is going to grow together over the years. That's the team to watch out for.
Definitely, Tanisha. Take me to the AFC East. Miami, Buffalo. What I mean, we know New York Jets ain't doing nothing,
I, I,
and we know
and
that
I
New England ain't doing nothing.
and I
Miami and
told you,
Buffalo. I mean,
Miami's my team. I told you that. I'm sticking
okay,
with
you
my
counting Buffalo out?
yes.
Why?
My I just don't think I don't think they have it together. It's too much in fighting. There's something going on there.
Well,
I
not
truly
talent
believe
wise, but this infighting. You don't think they
too
clicking?
much infighting. They not clicking.
Okay.
They got some stuff going on. And anytime you got your brother talking on the internet and it's something wrong, and that's got to destroy some stuff in the locker room.
Okay.
That
So Miami. Let's stay there for a second. Miami. I believe, has Miami beaten anybody with a good record yet?
they have not,
But
but
you
it
got to
don't mean
stay
that they
tuned.
can't. And
Okay.
it don't mean that they can't. And there's also been some little weird stuff going on. Like for example, when they played the Chiefs, Waddle goes down right at the beginning of the game. It's been some weird stuff going on. They hadn't been quite complete when they played the teams that have had the winning records. And I believe that they will probably be ready to go right when the playoffs happen, and we'll see a complete Miami team that will probably put foot all up in somebody. So
Okay.
yes,
And
I'm expecting Miami to do Miami things when the playoffs come.
and technically, Miami beat the Raiders, who were 500 last week. So just
Okay. So let me
just
jump
to,
over.
just to give them a
I'm
little bit of
Yeah.
I'm sticking
I
with
give.
Miami.
I mean, I'm not down on. I like Miami. I like the. I love the
oh
coach.
I'm
yeah.
not down at all.
Yeah. So
I'm
let me
not
switch
down
over.
and
Let's go
not
over to
even a little bit.
the NFC. We know, right? NFC East, Philly and Dallas, because we know Washington.
So
They they
I'm
they
gonna
ain't
tell
going
you
nowhere.
this.
The Giants ain't.
Washington can still play the role of a
I
spoiler though.
They could.
I
But
like
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. But yeah.
I'm going with that. I'm gonna tell you right now after what I've seen from Philly. I'm gonna go with Dallas over Philly anyway. Hmm?
Last night, the last couple of games, I
Hmm.
mean, I you look at where Philly is in the division. I last night, and I don't know if he's hurting or whatever, but the team just didn't look right.
Mm-mm. Not
Brown
at
wasn't
all.
a factor. Smith was. Um, it just
Yeah,
I
but
don't
that's
know.
credit to
Like,
Kansas City defense though.
yeah,
Dallas got a
definitely
defense
give them
too.
credit. Their defense is clicking. Definitely give them credit. But I haven't seen like they. I don't know. Philly it's not happening for me. Like even with their defense, it's not. I'm not seeing it like, oh, you can't.
They lucky Diggs is
Yeah,
out too.
you ain't gonna make nothing happen with that defense. There's been some teams been in that game. I
Dallas
Given
is
all of
look.
that, I
My
still think
concern.
they're gonna come up because that's that team. Dallas always worries me, so I would have to go with Philly out of that division.
My concern with Dallas is nothing. It doesn't have to deal with the talent, Tanisha. My concern with Dallas is up here because for some reason, it's easy to talk about the teams that they've beaten, the Giants, and what they've done. But it's
Mhm.
but it's the teams that saying that you expect them to be competitive with. Now, the 49ers has had their number, and
Mhm.
so mentally, if you can't overcome the fact that you've lost the last two playoff games against the 49ers in Dallas and in San Francisco, and then you went to San Francisco this season and you got mollywopped off the field, I think by 32 points.
Mhm.
It's easy to turn around and beat a Carolina Panthers team, but you was only one score ahead in the fourth quarter, so you got some questions about that.
And don't talk about the
Versus to say,
Giants because we ain't
yeah,
them
yeah,
boys.
Like
you know
I
what I'm saying,
said,
but to
it's
say,
that small mollywhopping is that's the lesson that they needed. It's that small mollywhopping is what
Molly
they
Whopper.
needed.
All
That
right.
small mollywhopping
So
is what they
Tanisha, you
needed to
got
get
that.
that
Let's go to the north.
right.
Let's go NFC North. Detroit, Minnesota. I mean,
it's
I'm
you
Detroit.
going.
think Green Bay gonna
It's
slide in there?
no,
Okay.
no, I do not.
Detroit's pretty good.
I
Detroit's
like Detroit. I've liked them since
No, I do not. Not
last
this
year.
year.
Yeah, I
Not
think
this year.
Detroit. I think they're gonna mess up some. Not I ain't gonna say mess up some season. They're there. Detroit. They have the pieces.
Mhm.
And Detroit, I think they play
Yeah.
Dallas on the 30th, so that's gonna be a good match. That's a Monday night football game, so that's gonna be a good matchup there. So
All right.
Mm.
This
and look, and I will say this for your audience, for you ladies, a Detroit Chargers, matchup a couple weeks ago, and it is good if you can combine them from different parts. Those are good parlays to bet on, to combine.
Oh, appreciate
All
that.
right. Oh, sure.
Appreciate
Thanks for the heads up. Thanks
Uh-huh.
for the heads up.
Let's go to the NFC South, which is just ugly to me.
Mm.
It really is ugly to me. New Orleans,
You
Atlanta,
said just
Tampa Bay,
ugly.
Carolina. It's really a ugly. I mean, I thought
Yes,
we were
Norm.
ugly, but we got Philly and Dallas kind of holding us up. Washington really is not looking bad. The Giants, we just got last week was a fluke. We just got all kinds of issues.
The
But
sad thing about it
that right
is
there,
Tampa Bay to me has the best talent out of that group. To
Yeah,
me,
but look, my problem with Tampa is that Baker's is too inconsistent, man. I mean, one week he'll throw for 275, 300 yards, and the next week
don't you
against
blame
who?
Baker?
Hey, look, man, I'm
Don't
only doing the
you
eye
blame
test.
Baker? Baker been
Look,
playing solid.
okay, if
no,
you
Yeah,
call his
he
play
playing
has
last
been a
week,
solid.
little. There's been some
if you
inconsistency
He
call his
been
there.
play
playing.
last week against the
He,
49ers solid, then
yeah,
I need a new dictionary.
Bosa out there harassing folks.
We don't do
Shit.
excuses,
He
Tanisha.
been-
I thought you knew
Ain't
that.
nobody doing excuses. You
Let,
seen that?
let's
You seen them trying to contend with Bosa?
let's
He was
well,
snap run,
All right.
that's gonna hurt
snap
the Chargers.
run.
That's
Shit,
gonna hurt the Chargers. The other Bosa, but it
ain't
wasn't
Bosa.
as
Ain't
bad. It was
Baker
painful to
fault.
him, but it wasn't that injury. Wasn't I don't think it was season ending. It was a really bad sprain, which could be season ending because sprain is a bad thing too. Let's go NFC West. San Francisco, Seattle,
Well,
Miami.
hold on. Just to finish off on NFC South, I think because Derek Carr got hurt last week. Look, I'm interested to see what Jameis Winston does because
I am too.
if I'm correct, I think the
I love
Saints
James.
lead the division.
They
So
do. They
yeah,
do. They're 5-5.
yeah, so I think so. So I think this is a good chance for Jameis to show what he's learned in this, being in New Orleans over the last 2 seasons or 3 seasons to try to put his name back out there.
They got to raise your
Hold
hand.
up. I love Jameis, and y'all know it. I'm excited.
Hey,
I want to
Jameis might be
see.
good for the
I
parlay
want to
switch, man.
see. I want to see how well he is after getting some snaps with the ones.
That's what I'm
Yep.
So
saying. Hey, he
that's what
can.
I'm
He didn't look
saying.
bad when he came
Hey,
in the
hey,
game the other night. I mean,
I
hey,
am
when he
excited.
came in, he slung that rock.
That's what I'm
So
trying to tell you. I'm excited to see what he gonna do. Now y'all know I've been a Car fan, but Car, you're looking like you done gave up and you're ready to retire. So go on over there and sit down. Sit
Yeah.
down
I
for
was
a
never a
little
Carr
bit.
fan. I've been a
Go
Jameis
on
fan
there and
since
sit
college.
down
Yeah.
because now, Jameis, here's your time to snap back. You might have a chance to
Let's see what that
just
laser guy surgery did for you.
Huh?
Right.
I
That
said, I
All
laser
right.
said, I said,
surgery.
let's see what that laser eye surgery did for you.
I know. Let's get it now. I'm excited
Let's
to
go
see
to the
this. So,
let's go to the NFC West.
woo! I mean, I'm happy about that. All right, let's get to
San
the
I,
West. All right.
Francisco and see. I mean,
San
how
Francisco.
far do you see San Francisco going?
I tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. I saw some cracks in the old armor.
Okay.
If you can get after that, now I'm gonna tell you now. Old Purdy. Now I like Purdy. Don't get me wrong. Purdy is a legit quarterback. Now everybody has some doubts, but he is a legit quarterback. But I do know one thing: being harassed is a different Purdy. When you get after his ass, it's a
you
different
funny,
look.
Tanisha. You
It's a
funny.
different look. So he is going as far as somebody harassing him. If we can get a little pressure on Purdy, they gonna get up
I
out
mean,
of
I'd
there.
like to
That's
see him make it. I'd
I'm
like to see that
it.
matchup because
Some real
he
pressure
ran
ends
through
that
he
run.
ran through last year. He got hurt. Nobody knows. I mean, if you ask an Eagles fan, they want to say the Eagles would have beat him outright. I don't know. Nobody knows what would have happened in that game. So, I mean, yeah, I want to
You
see
saw
the real
you
pressure.
saw what happened when Garrett got
I'm gonna
after him.
say, I'm gonna say this one. Tanisha's funny because she sounded like the booty warrior when she talked about. I
The who?
like Purdy. I like you,
I like
and I
Purdy.
want you. But
I like Purdy.
here's the thing: you saw chinks in the armor because they wasn't at full strength. They didn't have. I mean,
Yeah.
they got
That
Trent
was true.
Williams. Trent
Somebody
Williams
was who
and
was out, who was hurt that game? Who was hurt?
I'm trying to tell you, Trent Williams along with Debo Sims, they both got hurt in
Yeah,
the
Debo.
in the in the in the Browns game when they were out the next two games. But if they're at full strength, I think they ended. They might be the number two, number three seed, depending on what happens with the Lions the rest of the way. But I could see a scenario, and this is the first time that you can actually have legitimate conversation about the Lions being in the final two,
No,
being in the final two
absolutely.
in the NFC. So if I had a gun to my head, I still think even though I had the Cowboys in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, I would go with the 49ers traveling to San Francisco. And if they're at full strength, that's what I'd like to see because I think this time they
They
would be
lost
able
one of their
to
key players the other day. He got shook
yeah,
for his ACL.
the defensive guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, their mentality starts on offense with Trent Williams, that left tackle, and Debo Samuels, because they can impose some physicality on there, and everybody, and then the way Christian McCaffrey plays, and the way that Kyle Shanahan can design a plays. Again, that's kind of what the Chiefs are missing, that creativity that was there when someone in Washington was there last year. That they're missing the creativity that you're seeing, some of these other teams. So,
I
but
think
if I,
Red
but
gonna
if,
dial some up. He'll dial some up at the
But
end.
we got some. We got some good games
He'll
coming up
dial
this
some
week.
up. But Red will dial it.
And we'll see what happens. I'm gonna do a shift on y'all, a hard shift. I'm gonna talk
Hard.
menace to society in NBA. Draymond Green.
Lord have mercy. You mean that small choking, that Korean choke he put
What?
on him?
I mean, come on.
That on
Why is
Rudy?
why is he? What is a 4-game, 5-game suspension?
5 games.
Y'all think that's fair?
I don't
Yeah,
think it was
five,
long enough, but
five games. Yeah,
I don't think it was
He
long
cool.
choked
enough.
somebody.
I'm cool with 5. I'm cool with
No,
5.
he wouldn't play. If I was the commissioner, he wouldn't play the rest of the season.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
He's
cool.
a
not. I'm
repeat
not cool
offender.
because
No,
one, he
I'm
snuck a
cool.
guy to begin with. You know, what I'm saying, put him in. Like, do it straight up, and then two, you're trying to promote this in season tournament, and it's just the imagery, man. And I can't stand it because people try to make excuses for it, man. And you got look. I don't know where we've come to where we, not to say we allow, but we applaud that type of behavior.
Right. No, you're
Nah, ain't
right. And
nobody
people are like,
applauding it.
and
Nah,
I know
I'm not
people are gonna go
applauding that.
No, I'm
on
not saying you
social
two
media
should
is
come.
gonna do what it does, but people make excuses and people now he shouldn't be. But he ran up,
He's
snuck
protecting
that
his
man and
teammate,
choked him on
yeah,
national TV.
Yeah.
And
and
Draymond,
dragging him.
I mean, damn, Draymond was punching his own teammates last year. So don't nobody think something wrong with that. I mean,
Oh, oh no,
yeah, he would
everybody
not.
thinks something wrong with
He,
it.
me as an organization, as an owner, he wouldn't be on my team. He wouldn't be playing. Damn, what the NBA, they can do what they want to do. He would not be playing. I
But
may
you
have
know
to
what,
pay him,
Linda?
but he's not going to be playing.
But Linda, you've always held to a different standard. I mean, they have turned a blind eye to a lot of Draymond's
And
antics
that's
for
I think
years.
that's where Darren's
For
going.
years.
Why?
You know what I mean?
Is it
I don't know.
entertainment to people? Why? Why? Is that
I
what the
mean,
game is reduced to? That you gotta have that kind of
It
it
wouldn't
can't.
happen under David Stern. Period.
exactly? Yeah. So yeah, he's a
I don't
menace to
know.
the
I don't know
NBA.
why, because
Yeah.
I mean, right down from KD to Poole, I mean, his own teammates, like you said, he's been a bit clownish for years,
Yeah, and I
kicking
mean,
people
and
in
you
the
gonna call him a
balls.
teammate?
He's done a lot, stumping people. He's done a lot of stuff for years.
Yeah.
And I mean,
And
I saw somebody put together a mixtape of his antics that was just quite long.
right. So do
You
you
know,
I'll
wait
be
till he
honest, man. When he
seriously
did,
injures somebody and then we say, "Oh, we should have done it before"? Like the NFL put people out because they're like,
I'm,
"Okay, we're not gonna
I'm gonna be
tolerate that
honest, man. When
over and over."
when I was through with Draymond 2 seasons ago in the playoffs when he got ejected from, I think I drew two technicals against Memphis, and he's doing all this stuff and running around the court. That type of buffoonery. I just can't. I can't.
That's the word I was looking
I,
for.
I can't. I
Buffoonery.
can't. I can't. I
mm,
can't deal with it.
That's the word of
yeah,
the podcast. The other thing we
buffoonery.
got going on, staying with basketball. I'm not gonna get deep into, you
Miss
know,
Reese,
college and all that. Angel Reese, what's going on? What do y'all think is going on?
they they really don't know. They
I
really
Head
don't
hope,
coach
know.
is
I pray
head
everything
coach.
is okay with her. What's going on. I do not care for Kim Mulkey. I'll say it out loud. And in the comments that she makes, if I had a kid, they would never go play for Kim Mulkey. Coughing and sneezing on people and talking about, oh, I ain't got no sinuses for sissies, and maybe it's COVID, but I ain't testing. I mean, some of the stuff that she says is just like way, way out of pocket. I do agree with her. It's nobody's business what is going on with Reese. They
Hmm.
just made everything so public. So when you make yourself so public, then people want to know. And like I said, I coached against a kid. She's from this area. I wish her the best. I hope whatever's going on gets resolved and she gets back out on the court.
Um, yeah, I really do. But when she comes back, I hope it's more tamed version, just about business, because this doesn't look good, and I would like to see her be the basketball player that we know she can be. Just be all about business. Just be a all around good teammate. You know what I mean? I think her team needs her. You know what I mean? They're winning games, but still, they need a, she's a captain. You know what I mean? So they need that. What you want to see is her just be a really good basketball player and go out there and help her team get back to business. Hopefully she's going, to the next level, and you want to see her go out there and show a good side of herself. And right now, it doesn't look good.
Right.
So
So
that's not what I want out there for her. So I'm hoping that whatever she's going through, it's a good lesson for her, and then she gets back to business.
right,
And
and
maybe
like I
this.
said, pray on the side that everything is good. We had a panel a while back, and we got to get Walt back on the show. Darren, you on the show? We talking about NIL, right? NIL deals
Mm-hmm.
and what that. What I'm just gonna make it real. We can make it real short. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, like it probably has some impact on her and her behavior or whatever. Not just her, other players, right? Because they're making decisions
Oh
based
yeah.
like they under contract.
Well, think about this. She didn't have the NIL deal before they went on that championship run and knocking off Kaylin Clark
Oh, she had some of it,
well, yeah, but I'm saying, but to the extent that she has now, I mean, now
right?
I think she's top 10 in college among men and women, and so, again, if you're a student who ain't had that kind of money before, and now you got it coming in, sometimes if you don't have the right surroundings, so, I mean, you kind of get full of yourself, and nobody can tell you nothing because you think to myself, well, I got my money, and because look, people talked about if she were to go to the WNBA, she'd be taking a pay cut.
Yeah.
We
You
don't know
know,
if that's
so
necessarily the case because I don't know what's
well,
going to follow her. But I'm just saying with all
they
of
do
them,
extend the
not just,
contract.
and I'm not just focusing on her NIL deal. I'm just talking about like all of them all over. Look at some of the Colorado players. I mean, you
Well, no,
walk
no,
around
no,
showing
no.
what NIL itself has
Yes,
had. Go
but
ahead.
Linda, you asked, but you were talking, but you mentioned NIL in connection with Angel Reese,
No,
not
I
not
was
just
not.
over.
That's what I said specifically. This is not just about Angel Reese. This is about NIL deals overall. Hers comes to with her. I'm leading into that. I segue into that because we've seen so much stuff with it all year. I'm just like players saying, "Well, I could play another year." Caleb Williams, I could play another year. I'm good because I'm gonna make a couple of million. I make
Mhm.
more than I will, the impact to me, it's almost like I saw this coming, and then how much
Well,
you can tell a player, if that's your star player, excuse me, your star player, and you need them, just talking overall sports, and you need them, they making $3, $4, $5 million a year. What you really telling them? What you gonna tell them as a coach?
yeah, but here's the thing. Now I think the NIL's been out for a couple of years now. You know that when you're going and recruiting them because when
That's
you're
how they
recruiting them,
recruit them.
yes, but I'm saying but you're trying to bring them in and then the collectors and stuff try to round up the money and the contracts and stuff to saying to
Got to get
yes
that
still
language in there.
yeah and
Yeah,
so
Got to get that
I
language
mean,
in the NIL deal.
again, I still think it is the makeup of the players. Look, people complain about Caleb and how he might be a little on the stuck up side or whatever,
I like that.
versus Arch Manning's well, I guess Arch Manning down in Texas. He's got a large NIL deal. He ain't seen the field yet, but you know what I'm saying, but you ain't
Well,
heard about
man,
him.
Yes.
Acting. Look, and Deion Sanders' son Shador, and but Travis Hunter. Now, yes, Shador does the whole, that deal, and hey, that to me is marketing. But again, you gotta take the good with the bad because when you do this and you get blown out, and you lose the last 6 7 games, hey,
oh, I agree.
yeah,
I agree.
so
I
it
agree.
comes with territory.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
100%. So yeah, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. Darren, you got anything you want to say before you drop off?
No, just wish me luck this week. I'll be in Vegas, so I might be calling you to place my bets since I can't.
You
Since
can't
I
bet
can't.
in Vegas,
No, no, not on. For some reason, you can't do the apps and stuff in Vegas, and
but they
I'm
have the
trying to.
places that you can walk up to, right?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay at the Luxor, but again, I'm trying to avoid the casino aspect. Period. Because if I go in there, it could be.
What did
I'd
I
rather.
tell
I
you?
just
I
like the
am
sports.
not your bookie.
Listen to me,
You will be
Darren.
when I need you to
If
be.
you're afraid to walk into the casino, you
Oh
don't
no
need to
no.
be calling us anyway.
Oh no.
Okay?
Oh, so
Uh,
If
tell
you're afraid to walk into the
oh
casino,
no,
you
no,
don't
no.
need to
Trust me.
be
Trust me.
calling us anyway.
I have the willpower. I just know, saying, look, my vice is crafts. It's something about the rush of playing crafts and stuff like that. But I also know that if the table is if the table is cold, you keep going back. Nope. I'd rather just
Hey,
invest $100 and have bets around where I can just follow it and let the chips fall where they may. So
all right.
hey,
Well, once
hey,
again,
don't get
Darren, we
up in there if
appreciate
you
you.
can't handle it.
Right. We
Don't get
appreciate
up
you
in
coming
there if you
on.
can't.
We appreciate you coming on. And until next time,
Always.
you
happy
know.
holidays,
All
ladies.
right. Same to you. We'll be talking
Absolutely.
to you real soon. All right.
Always.
All right.
Thanks, Darren.
Tanisha, what you got for
Yes.
me? Close it out. What you got for me, sis? What's your
Oh,
thought?
this
What's
is
your
to
thought?
my nephew. You know I believe you, little man. Get on in there and get in them boys' ears and tell them next time you see them dropping the ball, go there and talk to them. Let them know it's okay. Go back to them like you used to. And come on now. I need to see you at the Super Bowl this year. I need to see you winning these games and will these kids. Come on now. You a veteran.
All right.
That's all I got. Let's get
And
back
for
to the
me,
chief way.
yeah, I just want to say y'all can see we sporting some merchandise. It'll be available. Go check our Instagram page. You'll see it out
That's
there.
me.
We got here's all of our sites, right? All of our sites. And as
I'm
always,
the dark one.
it's the holidays. Um, check in on your folks. Some
Absolutely.
folks are gonna be alone, right? Check in on them. Just say hello. How are you doing? Show some love to people. And as we always say, it's something that's free. So please remember to please be kind, be blessed. It's free. And until next time, peace.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to Two Gems and a Mic. Be sure to subscribe and follow. Until next time, remember, be kind, be blessed. Peace.